Hello, my friends. This is Jessica. This is I Read to Relax, and welcome back to my channel. I hope this isn't your first time, but if it is, I'm so happy you're here. So, welcome. I am here today because I want to put together my August TBR. It's that time of the month, man. I can't believe July is almost over. It feels so crazy. Absolutely nuts. I feel like the summer months are just flying by, and I know that happens every year, but it's sad. Today, I wanted to try something a little bit different. So I always see people come up with really creative ways to do their TBR, like to pick their books. And I've been trying to figure out, do I just want to do regular prompts? Do I want to do a spinner wheel of some kind? And then I was like, you know what I want to do? But I could never quite figure out how to make it work. And so we're just gonna try today. I have 2 sets of little prompts in here. So some of them, like you can see, I have actually colored on the outside with colored pencil because I didn't have a different color paper. They are prompts that say a color on them. So just red, blue, green, whatever the color might be, and it doesn't correspond to what's on the outside. I just picked random colored pencils. But it is a color. And then the non-colored prompts are genres. So fantasy, romance, young adult, which isn't technically a genre, it's just an age group, but I used it as a different category here. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick 6 books in total for my August TBR, but I'm gonna pick 1 genre prompt and 1 color prompt, and I'm gonna try and find a book off my shelves that hopefully matches both. So like a mystery with red on the cover, or it should match one of the 2 prompts at least. So we're gonna see how this goes, but I thought it was a super fun idea. I really just wanted to try something totally different. So let's make our first pick. This would be easier if I could get my whole hand in the jar, but I can't. So this one is a color prompt, and I'm gonna hold that out. And now we need a non-colored prompt. Okay, so we've got 2 here. Let's see what we've got for our first combo. We have a historical fiction, and the color for the cover, and I don't have that many historical fictions, so we may have a very limited choice here, is yellow. Okay, so I need to find a book with a historical setting and yellow on the cover. Ooh, I think I'm seeing one right off the bat. I mean, it's not just a pure historical fiction, but it is Regency England. So that's an option. The regular shelves. You helping Mama pick? Yeah, you helping me look for books? Oh, hi. Say hi, Valentine. Hi, Valentine. You helping Mama look? Okay, so I think, sorry, I'm just checking my other shelf way over there too to see if I see anything that's jumping out at me. So I have 2 choices here, and I think that's enough. So one is The Kingdoms of Savannah by George Dawes Green. I'm finally admitting that I need reading glasses, and so I actually brought them with me for this video, which is gonna make it a lot easier. Okay, so this is a chilling southern thriller with a definite Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil vibe. So Savannah may appear to be some town out of a fable with its vine flowers, turreted mansions, and ghost tours that romanticize the city's history. But look deeper and you'll uncover secrets past and present that tell a more sinister tale. It's the story at the heart of George Dawes Green's chilling novel, The Kingdoms of Savannah. I do believe that it is historic, talking about the dark history of the city. So I got this one when I actually traveled to Savannah. And then the other one I had picked up first was Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This one is a historic fantasy, so not just straight historic fiction, but it says, it's difficult to find a husband in Regency England when you're a young lady with only half a soul. Ever since she was cursed by a fairy, Theodora Eddings has had no sense of fear or embarrassment, an unfortunate condition that leaves her prone to accidental scandal. Dora hopes to be a quiet, sensible wallflower during the London season, but when Elias Wilder, the handsome, peculiar, and utterly ill-mannered Lord Sorcier, discovers her condition, she's instead drawn into dangerous fairy affairs. So, I actually really want to read this one, but I also feel like this one matches the prompt set perfectly, and I should probably do that. And I also kind of feel like a thriller set in historic Savannah during the summer would be like a fun, interesting choice. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with The Kingdoms of Savannah. It's something totally different to what I would normally pick up, and I think that's gonna be fun. We're gonna pick our next set. Yeah, we're gonna pick our next set of prompts. What are you doing, baby? You sniffing? What do you smell? All right, so we need a non-colored prompt and one that's got color on the outside. Okay, so this one we are looking for, I shouldn't have used sticky notes, but I did, and they're harder to get apart. This one is a middle grade or young adult, and the color choice is red. Okay, so I think I've got one right behind me here. I think this is just regular adult from Avon Books. That's all blue. Oh, I got one. Okay. That took a heck of a lot of searching. That was way harder than I expected it was going to be. I don't honestly know why I thought that would be so much easier. However, I think I found a couple of choices. So let's talk about what I was finally able to pull. And oh, Miss Valentine is, okay. Hello, baby girl. Yes, you helping. So the first one is The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. This one is young adult, like dark fantasy. Hemlock Falls isn't like other towns. You won't find it on a map. Your phone won't work here, and the forest outside town might kill you. Winnie Wednesday wants nothing more than to join the Luminaries, the ancient order that protects humanity from the nightmares that rise in the forest of Hemlock Falls each night. Ever since her father was exposed as a traitor, Winnie and her family have been shunned, but on her 16th birthday, she can take the deadly Luminary Hunter trials and restore her family's good name, or die trying. So we've got that one. And then from a local independent author, I have a copy of Dark is the Wood. This is by Kristen Ward, and this is a young adult fantasy. Everyone knows crossing into the Shadowlands means death. The great dragon rules that domain, and he brooks no trespassers. But some things are worth dying for. The wasting reaps a new crop of children every year. When it comes for Jillian's brother, she makes a decision that changes the course of her life in ways she could never have imagined. She enters the dragon's domain to plead for help. Ooh. So, see the dragon silhouette up here? I didn't realize there was dragons in that. We have those two choices. The luminaries and dark is the wood. I have had this one on my shelf for a really long time, so I feel like I should probably give this one a shot. So I think I'm gonna go with the luminaries. Okay, all right, let's pick 2 more prompts. So we've got one with color, and one with no color. Okay, so what did we end up with this time? I've got a romance, or a book that strongly features romance, because I don't have a lot of straight romance on my shelves. With green on the cover. Okay, so a green romance. I mean, I feel like this one has romance in it. We'll read the back and check in a minute. Green romance. Green romance. Is this one? Romance. We will check that one. And okay, so we ended up with more choices than I expected because I, like I said, don't buy a lot of strictly romance. So I usually have to rely more on like a romance subplot, which is just fine. But I do have Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura. And I've had this one on my TBR a couple of times because I really, really loved the second book in this series. I read it out of order. So I know I'm going to be excited to read this one. I just end up not getting to it in the month that I choose it. So in this one, rival archaeologists must team up on a secret Aztec expedition, or it could leave their careers and hearts in ruin. So, archaeologists in the jungle looking for Aztec stuff. This one has both the green spine and green on the cover. It is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This one, I watched the movie and really enjoyed it, and I heard the book is better than the movie, so I would like to read it at some point. 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. So these 2 used to go on vacation every year together, and they would be vacation buddies, and they now have been estranged for a little bit and have to come back together and romance. This one, I'm not actually sure if it has romance. I'm trying to remember. It is How to Lose a Goblin in 10 Days by Jessie Silva. A cozy tale of comfort and warmth unfolds in this debut novel following a halfling and a goblin who must learn to love each other despite their differences. Okay, so if I wanted a cozy fantasy romance, there's this option. And then the one I picked out before for historical fiction, this historical fantasy, is also romance. The longer Dora spends with Elias, the more she begins to suspect that one may indeed fall in love, even with only half a soul. So far we have a gothic thriller, a dark fantasy. So I could go for like a cozy fantasy romance, a straight up hot summer romance, an adventure romance, which is my favorite kind, or the historical fantasy romance. I feel like I might save this one for the fall. It just feels like it would be cozier. And as much as I love the sound of this one, I think because it's going to be August, I should probably choose between the two actual like romances. And I think I'm going to go for my adventure romance because I just love adventure romance. Stick them in a jungle looking for some artifacts and I am 100% in. So, yay. See, for book number 4, we're going to pick a prompt with a color and a prompt with no color. So let's see what our genre or category is this time. We've got science fiction. And our color, oh Lord, our color is black. Okay, so that might make things easier. I feel like more science fiction fantasy books tend to have black, so that might give us something good. Is this is dark blue, not black. Okay. What's this one? It's post-apocalyptic. Super soldiers. Okay, I think we could argue that this one is science fiction, so I'm gonna leave that out. Is this? Sorry, I should be talking out loud as I look here. I pulled Fallen Gods, but I believe that one is just fantasy. Probably have something that's just screaming pick this one, but like it's much harder to pick when you're the one that's actively like looking, feeling like people are watching you do it. Could we argue this one is science fiction? They're calling it fantasy. Okay, so I've got two here that aren't like robots or space adventures or that type of science fiction, but I do think that they both sort of fit more the science fiction vein rather than like fantasy. Although this one's also like literary fiction, I guess, but it's The Island of Last Things by Emma Slawley. So this one is post-apocalyptic, and it is about zookeeper on Alcatraz Island, which is the last zoo in the entire world. A new zookeeper arrives, as propulsive and fiercely hopeful with a heart-stopping final twist. The Island of Last Things is an elegy for a disappearing world and a gorgeous vision for the future. So, like I said, post-apocalyptic. This one, Deal with the Devil by Kit Rocha, is also sort of post-apocalyptic. The tagline is Meet the Mercenary Librarians. I love that. But yeah, Nina is an information broker with a mission. She and her team of mercenary librarians use their knowledge to save the hopeless in a crumbling America. Knox is the bitter, battle-weary captain of the Silver Devils. His squad of super soldiers went AWOL to avoid slaughtering innocents, and now he's fighting to survive. They're on a deadly collision course, and the passion that flares between them only makes it more dangerous. They could burn down the world, destroying each other in the process. Or they could do the impossible, team up. All right. I think because this mentions super soldiers, we're going to go ahead and say that this is our science fiction pick. This is another one that's been on my shelf for a couple of years, just waiting to actually get picked up. And I loved the idea of mercenary librarians, and then just got sidetracked by a million different books. All right, let's pick book number 5. All right, one jumped out at me. And here is, oh, nope, that's got color on it. Here is a non-colored one. So let's see, for our 5th book, the genre is going to be fantasy. So that should make it easier because I have a million of those. Oh my God. So many fantasies. I was like trying to pick other things and I'm like, it would be so easy if it was fantasy. And blue. Okay, so I saw one earlier that I should pull out that definitely fits this prompt, and then we will try to find some other choices. This one. And I did have some other romances there. They just didn't have the right color on them. Blue fantasy. Okay, I think I already made my mind up, but we'll talk about the choices just because I did pull them out and they all sound great. The first one is that does not say somewhere. The Otherwhere Post by Emily Taylor. Okay, 7 years ago, Maeve Abenthy, that's one hell of a name. Maeve Abenthy lost everything. Her world, her father, even her name. Desperate to escape the stain of her father's crimes, she lives under a fake name, never staying in one place long enough to put down roots. Then she receives a mysterious letter with 4 impossible words. Your father was innocent. To uncover the truth, she poses as an apprentice for the Otherwhere Post, where she'll be trained in the art of scriptomancy, the dangerous magic that allows couriers to enchant letters and deliver them to other worlds. But looking into her father's past draws more attention than she planned. Ooh! Okay. The next one that I pulled is Voyage of the Damned by Frances White, and I just got this one when I did a blind date with a book unboxing, and it sounds really good, so I'm excited to read this one at some point too. 12 magical blessings, 12 days at sea, one chance to stop a killer and save the world. For 1,000 years, Concordia has maintained peace between its provinces. To mark this incredible feat, the Emperor's ship embarks upon a 12-day voyage to the sacred goddess's mountain. Aboard are the 12 heirs of the provinces of Concordia, each graced with a unique and secret magical ability known as a blessing. All except one, Ganymedes Pissarro, class clown, slacker, and all-around disappointment. When a beloved heir is murdered, everyone is a suspect. Stuck at sea and surrounded by powerful people and without a blessing to protect him, Ganymedes' odds of survival are slim. But as the bodies pile higher, Ganymedes must become the hero he was not born to be. Can he unmask the killer and their secret blessing before this bloody crusade reaches the shores of Concordia? Or will the empire as he knows it fall? So that one sounds really good. But the one I want to choose, because I've had this on my TBR before and I didn't get to it again, is The Wonderland Trials by Sarah Ella. The Curious Realities Book 1. I love anything Alice in Wonderland. It's just been a favorite of mine since I was a kid, and so I always am on the lookout for like Alice in Wonderland twists. And this one sounds good. Solve the clues, Face your fears, survive the trials. All Alice Liddell wants is to escape her normal life in Oxford and find the parents who abandoned her 10 years ago. But she gets more than she bargained for when her older sister Charlotte is arrested for having the infamous Wonder Gene, the key to unlocking the curious Wonderland reality. Soon Alice receives a rather cryptic invitation to play for Team Heart in this year's annual and often deadly Wonderland Trials. Now she has less than 24 hours to find her way into Wonderland, where nothing is impossible, or what it seems. The stakes are raised when she discovers players go missing during the trials each year. Will she and her team solve the clues and find the missing players? Or will betrayal and distrust win, leaving Alice alone in a world of her own? Follow the White Rabbit into this topsy-turvy fantasy where players become prey, a sip of the wrong tea might as well be poison, and a queen's ways do not always lead one where they ought to go. Ah! I love the sound of this one. So yes, we are picking that one. Sometimes it's like you automatically know as soon as you see the book, like what is just speaking to you. And that one, every time I pick it up, I'm like, why have I not read this yet? Why? All right. So we only have a couple left in here. Let me not like look and pick because it's our last set, but I had one and it fell back in. Okay. We've got a colored prompt and nope, that one's got a color on it. This one. Okay. So our last combination is mystery and the color. I can't get it open right away. It is orange. Oh Lord. Okay. So do I have anything that is mysterious and has orange on it? If we could count that as a mystery, but I'll pull it out if we are struggling. Let's see. Would this be considered a mystery? Oh, maybe that one would work. I don't know. We'll take these out and look at them and figure out what our options are. Okay, so I don't think I have any that are like straight up mystery type books, period. At least in physical format. I probably do on my Kindle, but that and to add the orange in, I think we are out of luck. So let's see what I did pull 3 that might sort of work. We'll maybe take liberties. Let's see. So the first one is A Secret in the Garden by Janine O'Reilly. I don't remember what this one is about. So some secrets were never meant to be unearthed. Perched on a windswept cliff, Blackwood Manor looms like a dark monument to a mysterious family. Behind its grand iron gates, one part of the estate has been left to rot since the tragic death of Hester Blackwood, the once glorious conservatory, now choked by vines and shattered glass. The rest of the family is gone. Only her brooding son Jasper remains, the heir to a weapons empire. Desperate to save her job and out of options, botanist Eliza Arnold makes a bold gamble. Drive to the manor and beg the elusive millionaire for a donation. Jasper agrees on one chilling condition: restore the conservatory alone. No help, no leaving. But the manor is not empty. As Eliza battles thorns and secrets, a magnetic tension builds between her and Jasper, dark, dangerous, and impossible to ignore. And something else stirs among the roots and ruins, whispers in the walls, confusing disturbances, and a presence watching her every move. The deeper Eliza digs, the more she uncovers a garden of grief, longing, and desire, because in Blackwood Manor, even buried things can bloom again. So it actually says it's a romance, but I feel like there's mystery in this one, so we're going to keep that as a possible option. The next one, I think is straight up fantasy, but it's really orange, so it's like gold orange, so I figured I would check the description to see if I could figure out, and I don't think this special edition has the description. Oh, and it's not the first book anyway. So, this is not an option. Because that one, we need to read the other book first. The other one I was looking at was The Compound by, I think it's Aisling Rawle. And this one I know is more of a literary fiction, maybe thriller. I don't know what I would call this one exactly, but it says, nothing to lose, everything to gain, winner takes all. Lily, a bored, beautiful 20-something, wakes up on a remote desert compound alongside 19 other contestants on a popular reality TV show. To win, she must outlast her housemates while competing in challenges for luxury rewards such as champagne and lipstick and communal necessities to outfit their new home, like food, appliances, and a front door. The cameras are catching all of her angles, good and bad, but Lily has no desire to leave. Why would she when the world outside is falling apart? As the competition intensifies, intimacy between the players deepens, and it becomes increasingly difficult to distinguish between desire and desperation. When the producers raise the stakes, forcing contestants into upsetting, even dangerous situations, the line between playing the game and surviving it begins to blur. If Lily makes it to the end, she'll receive prizes beyond her wildest dreams. But what will she have to do to win? So, yeah, again, I don't know if this would count as, like, mystery, but I feel like both of these have, like, mystery elements to them, but they're also very different sounding books. And I think, as much as I think this would be a really quick read, I think I'm going to save that one, and I'm going to go with A Secret in the Garden, because I feel like it's got a little bit more, like, dark secrets. Instead of just, like, who's pulling the strings behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Okay, so we do have our 6 books. And let me quickly give you a little run through again of what we picked out. So I think this challenge was fun, interesting. Also highlighted that I don't have as much variety in my selection of books as I might like to think I do, but that's okay. So for the first one, we picked historical fiction with yellow, and I picked The Kingdoms of Savannah by George Dawes Green, which is like a gothic historical thriller. So that should be interesting. Then the next set of prompts was red, middle grade, or young adult. So I found The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. And this one is like a dark fantasy, is green romance. And I picked Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura. Was science fiction with black on the cover. And I picked up Deal with the Devil by Kit Rocha. So I picked out some books on my TBR that have been there for a long time. So this will be a very interesting month. I'm excited to knock some of those books out, hopefully. The next combo was Blue Fantasy, And I picked up the Wonderland Trials by Sarah Ella. I'm really excited for that one. The last set was Mystery and Orange, and we kind of compromised with A Secret in the Garden by Janine O'Reilly. So I think this is a really interesting mix, and like I said, some of them are not just older books, but they're older on my TBR books. So I like getting the chance to really try to dig in a little bit deeper sometimes, because it's so easy to get distracted by new shiny releases and just let the books sit here forever. So like, I like being forced once in a while to kind of dig to find something that might be hiding, you know, the hidden gems in my bookshelf. I literally forgot I had some of the options that I pulled out today. So yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to try some of these and see if I like them as much as I think I'm going to. It's gonna be an interesting month. So anyway, thank you so much for sticking all the way through the video. I know it was a little weird having to do the combos and try to pick, but like I said, it made for some interesting choices. And I would love it if you would like the video, subscribe to my channel so that you know when to come back for other future videos. Leave me a comment. Have you read any of these? Are you super excited I'm gonna read them? Do you think I should read a certain one first? Did I miss a choice that you think would have been great for any one of these? Whatever you want to comment, I would love to chat, and I will let you guys know at the end of August how I made out with these books. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.